Hey everyone, welcome back to Unseen Reality 6, the channel where we uncover the darkest, most jaw-dropping true stories that history almost buried forever. Imagine this. It's 1912. The world is racing forward like never before. Cars on the streets, electricity lighting up cities, giant machines making people feel like they could conquer anything. And right in the middle of all that swagger and confidence, humans build a ship so enormous, so luxurious, and so supposedly unsinkable that newspapers boldly declare the ship that God himself couldn't sink. But on one freezing April night in the middle of the North Atlantic, that floating palace slammed into an iceberg, and in just 2 hours and 40 minutes, more than 1,500 lives were gone, vanished into the black depths forever. This isn't the Hollywood movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and the dramatic "I'm the king of the world" scenes. This is the raw, heartbreaking, infuriating real story of RMS Titanic, the disaster that proved once and for all, no matter how rich, how smart, how powerful, or how advanced you think you are, Mother Nature always gets the final say. Stick with me till the end, because by the time we're done, you'll be questioning every unsinkable thing in your own life, your plans, your technology, your confidence. If you love stories that hit you right in the chest and make you whisper, "No freaking way," smash that like button right now, subscribe if you're not already, and let's dive deep into the Titanic true story. Let's rewind all the way to the beginning, early 1900s. The White Star Line desperately wants to dominate the lucrative transatlantic passenger trade. They partner with the legendary shipbuilders Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Ireland. Their mission? Create 3 massive sister ships, Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic. But Titanic, she was always meant to be the undisputed crown jewel. Construction kicks off in 1909. Thousands of hard-working men, around 3,000 at peak, pour their blood, sweat, and literally their lives into this beast for over 3 straight years. The shipyard had to be modified with bigger gantries and piers just to handle something this huge. When Titanic finally launches in 1912 and gets fully fitted out by early 1913, she's an absolute monster. 882 feet long, longer than 2 football fields end to end. She towers 175 feet from keel to the top of her 4 massive funnels. She weighs over 46,000 tons. Those 4 smokestacks scream raw power. Inside, forget calling it a ship. This thing is a freaking floating 5-star city on the ocean. First-class passengers enjoy a sweeping grand staircase that looks like it belongs in a European palace, a heated swimming pool, Turkish baths, a full gymnasium, libraries stocked with books, and opulent dining saloons with crystal chandeliers, fine china, and silverware worth more than most families' entire homes back on land. It was pure Gilded Age luxury. But here's what makes the Titanic story so painfully human: the insane class divide. Down below, in third class, also called steerage, you've got poor immigrants from Ireland, Sweden, Finland, and Italy and beyond. Families who sold everything they owned, farms, homes, possessions, just to buy one ticket to chase the American dream. They were crammed into tighter quarters, but many still described it as better than anything they'd known before. They had heaters, pianos in the general room, and hope burning bright in their eyes. New life, new opportunities, Ellis Island waiting on the other side. Rich millionaires like Jock Jacob Astor IV partying in elegance upstairs, desperate immigrants singing folk songs and dreaming downstairs. Same ship, 2 completely different worlds sharing one tragic fate. April 10th, 1912, Southampton, England. Huge crowds pack the docks, waving handkerchiefs, shouting goodbyes, some crying, some cheering. Captain Edward Smith, a respected veteran with decades at sea, stands on the bridge for what he believes is his final voyage before a quiet retirement.
The massive ship slowly pulls away from the dock, and almost right away, disaster nearly strikes. The suction of Titanic's enormous propellers causes a nearby liner, the SS New York, to break free from its moorings and nearly collide. A warning sign from the very start? Maybe, but nobody takes it seriously. They continue on to Cherbourg in France, then Queenstown in Ireland, picking up even more passengers and emigrants. By now, over 2,200 souls are aboard, wealthy elites, crew members, and regular folks full of hope for a better life in America. Life on board quickly settles into a dream-like routine. In first class, nights mean lavish multi-course dinners with caviar, champagne, and live music, women in elegant gowns, men in tuxedos. It feels like the height of civilization. In third class, people gather in the general room, sharing stories from their homelands, playing cards, singing, and letting their children run and play on the open decks. The Atlantic looks calm, the sky is clear, everyone feels completely safe, untouchable, invincible. But folks, pride always comes before the fall. From the first day at sea, iceberg warnings start flooding in from other ships. Heavy pack ice ahead, large icebergs sighted in your path, field ice and growlers reported. The wireless operators, senior man Jack Phillips and his assistant Harold Bride, are absolutely slammed. Rich passengers are sending hundreds of personal telegrams and marconograms, bragging about their trip or handling business. Some critical ice warnings get delayed, downplayed, or never even reach the bridge properly. One dramatic moment, the nearby ship Californian tries to warn them, but Phillips, overwhelmed and frustrated, basically tells them to shut up because he's busy working Cape Race. That operator on the Californian eventually turns off his wireless and goes to bed, just miles from the unfolding nightmare. Captain Smith doesn't slow the ship down. Why would he? Titanic boasts 16 watertight compartments. The press and even some White Star Line people had hyped her as virtually unthinkable. Even if 4 compartments flood, she'll still float, they claimed. Overconfidence was everywhere. The ship keeps steaming at nearly full speed, around 21 to 22 knots. By the evening of April 14th, the air turns bitterly cold. The sea becomes mirror-flat, eerily calm with no waves to crash against the ice and reveal its position from a distance. Lookouts in the crow's nest don't even have binoculars. They were left behind in Southampton by mistake. Another small but deadly oversight. Then comes the moment everything changes. 11:40 p.m. Lookout Frederick Fleet suddenly spots it, a dark mass looming out of the blackness. Iceberg right ahead. He rings the warning bell frantically. First Officer William Murdoch reacts instantly, hard a starboard, and orders engines full reverse. But a ship this massive doesn't turn or stop quickly. At over 24 miles per hour, momentum is brutal. The collision feels deceptively gentle to many on board, just a slight scrape, a mild shudder. Some passengers think it's nothing more than hitting a wave or a minor bump, but underwater, it's catastrophic. The iceberg doesn't deliver one long slash. It creates series of gashes and punctures along the starboard side, over 300 feet long in total. 6 compartments begin flooding rapidly. Designer Thomas Andrews inspects the damage and delivers the devastating news to Captain Smith. She'll sink in about 2 hours. There's no saving her. Now the real nightmare explodes. Lifeboats? Only 20 of them, enough for roughly half the people aboard at best. Old maritime regulations from smaller ships hadn't been updated for these new giants. Nobody ever imagined Titanic could sink. At first, many passengers refused to believe it. This is Titanic. She's unsinkable. Some stay in their warm cabins. Others hesitate because of the freezing night air. The order, women and children first, is given, but chaos quickly takes over. Third-class passengers face locked gates, confusing passageways, and delayed instructions. Many never even make it to the boat deck in time. First and second class get clearer access and priority. The class divide that existed in life tragically continued in death. Survivor accounts paint a heartbreaking picture. In third class, families like Finnish newlyweds Pekko and Ellen Hakkarainen had been enjoying the voyage, attending services, strolling decks, and dreaming of their new American life. Suddenly, they're fighting through confusion just to reach safety. Up top, the ship's band, led by Wallace Hartley, keep playing ragtime tunes at first to calm nerves, then switch to solemn hymns. Many survivors later swore they heard "Nearer My God to Thee" as the final piece while the ship went down. Those musicians knew they weren't getting off, yet they stayed to give others peace. True heroes. In the wireless room, Jack Phillips and Harold Bride send SOS signals desperately until the power fails. The nearest rescue ship, the RMS Carpathia, is over 50 miles away and races through ice fields at full speed. By approximately 4:10 a.m., the Carpathia arrives like a guardian angel, picking up the frozen survivors from the lifeboats and heading to New York. The world wakes up to the news and is absolutely stunned. The official inquiries that followed in the U.S. and Britain changed maritime safety forever. More lifeboats required, 24-hour radio watches, the creation of the International Ice Patrol, better passenger access regardless of class. But the deepest lesson is timeless: hubris. We build these